Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and in today's video, sponsored by the makers of Rise of Kingdoms, we gotta talk about this matchmaking because this looks like fire. King of all Britain KVK. We're going into the new KVK, baby. Pioneer style. And we've got Imperium 1365, Imperium 2377, and in a hilarious plot twist, my kingdom 2293 is in a war camp with the folks we fought last KVK. That's 2934. Now you may recall that way in the past, we had allied with them. And then in our last KVK, we fought against them. They mocked me in their alliance profiles for a little bit. Then I rubbed it in their face when we beat them. And now we're in the same war camp. And I'll talk about how I feel about that in just a minute. But first, let's talk about these Imperiums. 1365, who I've fought before in the past, multiple times. And didn't win. And that included a free-for-all KVK way back in the day, which eliminated my faith in free-for-all KVKs being a real thing that you should ever do. So I assume we're not doing a free-for-all here. The Diplo still isn't resolved and sorted out. But the other Imperium on the board, 2377, is also insane. Like, their record is unbelievable right now. They are absolute monsters. This is a crazy map. So initially, I was actually very, very alarmed that 2293 is going to be on a map with 1365 and 2377. Because, we can't field against them. Who are you even kidding? Not even remotely close to being able to field against those kingdoms. And if you think we could, you are, it's not a knock against 2293. It's just a friggin' reality about how strong those kingdoms are. And we are far from that level of field punching strength, which is why I'm incredibly happy that we're in a war camp with 2934. Because if there were any A kingdom in the game, I don't know that many A kingdoms, I'll be honest. But if there were any A kingdom to get paired with in a KVK where you got to go up against those war camps, I could not be happier than to be in a war camp with 2934, because you may recall that I repeatedly praised their open field prowess. They are very persistent and powerful in the open field. So this is going to get really, really interesting because 2293 has very, very good garrisoning, also very good rallying, but I think we're better at garrison than rally. And combined with the 2934 field presence, and we actually complement each other in a way that is astonishing, in my opinion. So as long as this KVK has an ally situation that is not the two Imperiums allied together, I think this could be a fire KVK. But we need to talk about the other two kingdoms that I actually need to go learn more about. That's 1718 and 3310. And it's funny, I was actually in voice with some folks the other day, and then they were like, hey, I'm in 3310. I was like, oh, no kidding. So let's get a look at some of the stats here and talk about this matchup. And the stats don't tell the whole story, but it is very interesting to look at them. So it's my understanding that these are the main stats being used in Diplo to discuss kind of, what fair would look like for allies, okay? And it's got the 4 war camps. 1365 is obviously on their own. They have 2 alliances, 15 and 14.8 billion power, 1.3 and 1.2 billion trillion? Bro, I'm so sleep deprived. I just had a baby recently. Baby's doing great. 1.3 and 1.2 trillion kill points. Crazy, okay? Big numbers. So that's combined 29.8 billion power and 2.5 trillion kill points. Then you've got 2377, okay? 21 billion power. By the way, Wild Lion and Mr. Hope are there. And I would have considered migrating there as well. And 2.4 trillion kill points for 2377, all right? So those 2 war camps, obviously there's a power discrepancy there. And there's a quantity of players discrepancy there between them, right? I don't know them as intimately as they do, so I could certainly be wrong. But just looking at the numbers, it's okay, so 1365 has a power advantage and a KP advantage and a numbers advantage on 2377. We also know that 2377 Just like never stops. They never stop. They do not stop until the KVK countdown has hit the end. So like, yes, I would not underestimate how bottomless they can be. So then below them, you've got 1718 paired with 3310. Okay. 1718 has a 15 billion power alliance, technically 14.9, but I'm just rounding everything today. And 1.3 trillion kill points. That's serious. That is a serious amount of kill points. Okay. And then you've got 3310 at about 12 billion power and 700 million kill points. So combined, 26.7 billion power and 2 trillion kill points. Okay. From there, 2293 and 2934 together. This is interesting. 2934 is 13.6 billion power and 1.2 trillion kill points. Combine that with our 12.6 billion power and about 900 million kill points. You can see, by the way, why I'm saying that 2293 just doesn't have as much field presence as 2934 does. Like that 300 billion kill point difference is very meaningful. And I think they have a lot of younger accounts there, if I'm not mistaken. Like not super young, but like younger. So it all adds up, okay, to being a really interesting matchup because our war camp's power and kill points are very, very similar to the 1718, 3310 war camp. So this gets really interesting for what should the Diplo look like? Who should be allied together? And of course, chat's going to be wondering, who do you want to be allied with, Chisgule? And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what the best ally situation would be here. The only thing I would say, I would be happy as long as the two Imperiums don't ally together. That's the one and only situation that would be like, why did anyone queue for this KVK? And I think it's very obvious that the developers are, I mean, I don't know what the developers are doing, but like when you look at the matchmaking, there's like the two Imperiums are like a banding of power level, and the non-Imperium war camps are like a banding of power level. And I don't think that either of the non-Imperium war camps could take on one of the Imperium war camps and win. Call me crazy, but I don't think that's realistic. So if that's not realistic, and I don't think that it is, that means that as long as the two Imperiums don't, I'm happy if we ally 1365. I am happy if we ally 2377. Like genuinely, whichever way that goes, I'm feeling pretty good. And like obviously no disrespect to 1718, 3310, but like I think if we're allied together, I mean, I'd have to take a much closer look to see like, is it really reasonable to take on those kingdoms? That feels insane to me. I mean, for that to even be remotely true, like all four kingdoms, if we're all allying together, we would need to all be on the bubble of Imperium and flip Imperium because we all train that much. And even then, like I don't think we could match that field. Like no way. The trillion kill point deficit combined would be too much, in my opinion. Right? And the kill points themselves aren't the issue. It's what they represent in terms of activity and punch level and that would be the issue. So I don't know how this is going to go, but I am here for it. This is really cool. I'm going to have to figure out how to run my two accounts in the same KVK all over again. But if we get a look here at the map now, we get a closer look here. Star Reserve is 2377. Dawn Reserve is 1365. Which is Star and which is Dawn? Okay. Star is, maybe we haven't picked yet. I don't think we've picked yet. I think we pick which physical zone we're going to be in only after the rankings come through for Eve of the Crusade. Is that right? I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere because like, here we are in Eve of the Crusade. Also, I think it is really cool. I don't know when this changed, but I think it used to like not give you the option of seeing this screen. Maybe I'm misremembering. I think it's awesome. They've got the opponent found. You can cruise around here. Honestly, I would love for this to stick around for the entirety of the window of the Eve of the Crusade event. Because it's just nice to like look in and, you know, double check all the ways, the rules, the way the KVK works, blah, blah, blah. Look at the map more. But it is really cool. Actually, they have the map over here too. I feel like that's kind of new, right? This is definitely new. This is very cool as well. I mean, obviously, people want the all damage buff over here. I feel like that's just a win. Other people were saying in my chat that like maybe there's a scalability issue with all damage. So there's maybe diminishing returns compared to these other things. Because I don't know if they're different multipliers, maybe. I have no clue, bro. I can barely keep up with my life, let alone the intricacies of some of those buffs and the way that they interact. But I am hyped for this KVK. And what I want to do, as I said, is just go get a look at the two kingdoms that I'm just not as familiar with. And that's 3310. Maybe there's some folks over there that's here. That's interesting. It's 3310's second grouping. I don't know why they would have used their second grouping instead of their first, but whatever. I guess it doesn't really matter. Who is 3310, bro? My understanding is that these guys migrated here recently-ish. So this is a heck of a situation they're thrown into here. We got to look at bot impossible, huh? And there's that 11.8 billion power alliance. We look at the alliance members here. Some of these names might be familiar to me. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. I have no clue. I have no clue. Some of these names are familiar. Baba TC Adasan. Wait, hold up. Baba TC Adasan is here. And this is the moment Chisgule realizes that Baba has an account in 3310. And if I'm not mistaken, isn't he in 1365? Did he go to 1365? I think so. Oh, that's really interesting. So, I'm pretty sure they're going to want to ally. Like, I mean, if I'm Baba, I'd be like, please ally with my other account. Let's see here. What do we got? What a situation, bro. What a situation. Is Baba here? We got to, oh my God, bro. 1365 has got some thick players. What are we looking at? Holy. Where is Baba TC Ataturk? I feel like I should just do a governor search with his ID, but I also finding it really interesting to just cruise through the power of the players in this alliance right now. This is really interesting. I mean, they got a bunch of players that are a surprising number of players that are in that like 60 to 85 range. Maybe it's more like 65 to 85, which, you know, is sort of a reality of Imperium these days. Okay. And that's JST, but they have two alliances, right? So maybe it's JG. Is this the one? Nope, that ain't it. Where do all the players live? Baba here? Integrity. Okay. Alliance members, they're 15 billion. Maybe Baba's in here? I don't know, man. These guys are looking 200 million power. They got so many of these guys over 150 mil. Looking thick. That's crazy. There's another one. Cactus. Oh, Cactus. That's a familiar name. He was in, or she, I don't know, 556, right? 556 is where they were? It's crazy. Oh, man. Teddy Air Force. That Teddy? Oh, there's another Teddy. Who knows? Oh, there's Baba. Okay, so, you know, look. If what I would expect is that there's some kind of relationship here with Baba and his son's account. I mean, you do remember the reason he wailed in the first place was because someone zeroed his son's account, right? So, yeah, I would expect a likely outcome would be that 1365 allies the 1718 3310 camp, and that we would end up allying 2377. But I have no clue, genuinely. Leave your thoughts down below in the comments. What should this matchmaking look like? Are you hyped for this KVK? I feel like just looking at the data without knowing I mean, I obviously am familiar with 1365, and I've spectated 2377. I feel like a couple times recently in KVKs, and obviously, I've spectated and played against 1365 in the past as well. But I feel like more recently, I've just seen 2377 pull out these like crazy wins, and I'm not as familiar with 1718 and 3310. Those two kingdoms are more of a question mark for me personally, but like I think this KVK is fire. Like almost no matter how you slice the allies, the only situation that's just dumb is if the Imperiums are like, let's just take it easy this holiday season. GG's. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think so. Something I've come to appreciate in Rise of Kingdoms is these days more and more. I think kingdoms have more. Use the alliance name here. Integrity about matchmaking than in other games I've played where they just like, oh, let's just stack the deck in our favor. So I don't know. This matchmaking chat, I mean, it looks like fire. Your thoughts in the comments. If you want to see recent Rise of Kingdoms videos, like this is the KVK where Ragnar Prime is going to be. Do I just need to max him? Chat, do you want me to just max him? How many sculptures do I have? Can I do that? Are we chilling? I'm maxing Ragnar Prime. I might be doing it. I got 1,376. It's kind of mid number of sculptures here. I guess if I don't need to do the archer garrison, I'm kind of chilling. I guess we'll see. Subscribe. You're not going to want to miss it. This is going to be fire.